Many of you have questions about what it's like to be a City of Memphis police officer. From Memphis Police Training Academy requirements to Academy lifestyle and working as a Memphis police officer. Officer Cody Young and City of Memphis Supervisor of Talent Management Chris Allen answer some of your questions. Welcome to Ask an Officer.
It's a paramilitary style academy. Most places they do have a dormitory style. We don't. It's actually, you go home at the end of the day from the academy class. Tends to be Monday through Friday. I'd say about 90% of the time, 8 to 5 is usually the times that they work through. There are occasions where you may have a night class that we do nighttime driving training. We do nighttime real world scenarios toward the end of the academy. There are things where that would take place, or maybe even like a holiday or something that falls in the middle of the week. They may work on a weekend, and those days would be made up, as they went along. But for the most part, just in general, is a Monday through Friday, non-dormitory style class academy.
You will be running day one, so we always request that candidates be prepared to do PT day one. You will do it for 2 hours a day, every day that you are in class.
Now, in regards to that, we do have PT testing and stuff, and like he said, you do run day one. So that is one of the things, like with the prereq testing that we do to come into the academy. They will tell you on that day, just because you made it in, don't stop running. Continue working on yourself, working on that stamina and running, because of that fact that we do run and we do PT pretty much every day. You actually, with us, you don't have to have a degree to even start. There are benefits to having one though. The minimum, if you come in under education requirements, is we will hire you with a minimum of 54 college credit hours from a regionally accredited college or university. However, with a degree, if you do come in with one, or if you even have schooling and you go back later after you join the department and finish out the classes that you needed to take and get your bachelor's degree, we will give you an extra 7.5% on top of that base pay then. So you're automatically giving yourself a pay increase by doing just schooling.
So a lot of candidates that do attend college and graduate, they feel like if they don't have a criminal justice degree, then they're not as useful as a candidate. But what's significant about the Memphis Police Department is that whatever your background is, we can utilize that to our benefit. So we have officers that do a little bit of everything, and we have over 75 specialized units, everything from Harbor Patrol to the Mounted Patrol. We just pretty much cover a large gamut, so even if your background is in accounting, we could utilize you. We have officers that have taken non-traditional pathways to our agency as well, and so you don't have to have a specific background in order for us to be able to utilize this. Majority of our force is commissioned officers, so some of our what would be considered administrative work are positions that are held by commissioned officers as well. If they're currently in the military, there are benefits to that. If they are reserve and they receive active orders, we do have paid time for them to go to training, and we will honor whatever orders we will and give them the appropriate leave that is required for that as well. If you are former military, we would love to have you on board. We have a special place for you. You're going to love the academy because it's paramilitary, so you'll be able to slip right into that, and then this will allow you to continue to serve your country in the same capacity, if not a greater capacity, because you're going to be protecting things that you love, such as your home and your neighborhoods.
I think two of the biggest benefits that we have that you don't see a lot of other individuals have though too, is if you do get active orders, say you are a reserve and you get active orders, Let's say you are overseas or something like that. The Memphis Police Department will actually pay you up to $800 supplemental pay while you're on orders. We do still support those that are in the military. Even though you're not working as a Memphis police officer at that time and you're serving your country, we still continue to pay you. Also as well, like Chris had just mentioned, with individuals that are reserve, and usually it's 1 weekend a month, 2 to 3 weeks out of a summer that they have to do their diligence. We pay up to 20 days out of the month, or 20 days out of the year that we will actually give you off for military days as well. One of the biggest benefits, especially with military and anybody else, is we actually give you up to $5,000 relocation bonus as well. So those are some things. You might have to travel from somewhere else, you're stationed from somewhere else, and need help moving here. We can help with that, whether military or not. So those are big benefits that we have on both sides.
And also, you don't have to move immediately. We do have a city ordinance that requires you to be a resident of our county and not our city, which gives you greater latitude when it comes to choosing your home. But you do have to do so within 6 months of starting the academy. So from day one, you'll have up to 6 months to show proof that you have established residency here, and that can be in the form of a mortgage, a rental agreement of sorts, and things of that nature to kind of show that you've established and placed roots here in the county. We get that quite frequently via telephone, in-person conversation. Unfortunately, right now, we do not offer take-home cars, but we keep our cars very clean.
Yeah, it's not, for the masses, that is a lot of the questions that I get to. For the masses, it's not the normal that we have. We do share vehicles. However, it does depend, I guess, would be a better answer, because there are certain areas or specialties, departments, I guess, that we have that they do allow take-home vehicles, or that they do have take-home vehicles. So it's not a direct no, it's not a direct yes, it's a it depends type of answer. Well, whenever I was on the street, I had a squad car that I drove. Now, because I do recruiting, I am driving around town in the SUV, so if you ever see it, flag me down, wave me down, and I'll stop and talk to you about becoming a Memphis police officer. So yes, I do actually have an SUV that I drive. Yeah, actually probably the most recent, I'll say, call/incident that happened was back maybe 2016. I'm one of our CIT officers on the department, and we had gotten a call about a mental individual that was in an apartment complex shooting off shots just up into the air at random. A bunch of the neighbors got scared, so whenever we got there, he ran inside and locked his door. We started hearing a lot of loud noises, banging around, things like that. We didn't know if anybody was in trouble at that time, if there was somebody else in there. We heard a lot of yelling. So whenever we opened the door to see what was going on, he was standing there with a pistol pointed right at us. Our guys, we did what we had to do. However, no shots were fired. None from us, none from him during that time, but we still got him in custody and everything was okay. The only bad part of that day was I had a torn ACL in my leg from having to move very rapidly down a flight of stairs, more or less jumping off a third-story balcony and dislocating or tearing my ACL. CIT was actually, it's a program that started here in Memphis back in the 1980s. And they are, or I shall say we are, specially trained individuals that deal with folks that have, whether let's say some type of mental disability, whether it's bipolar, schizophrenia, PTSD, we are seeing a lot of nowadays, as much as ADHD, ADD type disabilities and things like that we deal with, because we understand that not everybody, they're not doing anything criminally wrong per se if they are having an episode, so they don't need to go to jail. So there needs to be a happy medium somewhere. We started seeing a lot of individuals back prior to 1980s that were just being locked up, and that wasn't giving them the help that they needed. So we have partnered with a facility here in Memphis that we take them to. They get the medications or the treatments or things that they need, and then we can get them back stabilized after they've got their medications, and they're right back home, let's say within a few hours or a few days.